artist, and I've spent many years with Adobe CMS, and recently I've done a lot of work with AI. Ever since I met CMS experts, I've been diving very, very deep into AI and what it does. I'm a consultant at Digital Domain Technologies Limited. I have 49 years experience in technology. My philosophy about AI is it should amplify and not replace human expertise. I am a real AI fan. I'm not here to pick up holes in the LLMs or anything, I'm just here to explain what they do, why they fail, and what we as users can do to help it. My focus is on building zero dependency, agent-friendly web architectures. Understanding invisible users. I call them invisible users because they are invisible to site owners. They blend into analytics. They arrive at your site, they do things and leave. They may decide that your site isn't suitable for them. They may decide that you don't have the products that you want. They may decide that your site is crashing, but they leave and therefore don't show up in your analytics. You don't have dwell times, journey times, page views. All of those things are missing. Another reason why they're invisible is the other way around. Your interface is invisible to them. They can't see animations, they can't see color hints, they can't see posts, they don't understand spinners. Now, this is not a theoretical thing, it's happening today. And if you think hard about this, screen readers have the same problem. They are exactly the same as an AI. An AI is trying to read your screen in various ways. It's reading the HTML, it's taking screenshots, it's trying to do what it can. This has been a thing that's been around for 27 years. Our friend Yanis wrote about this 27 years ago. This has been invisible to designers. We need to design systems that give visual feedback to AI agents and blind users. Most companies don't track AI bot traffic. That's going to change. Bot traffic is going to be very, very important. But at the moment, not a lot of people are tracking it. Some sites prohibit AI bots using robots.txt. Some block them. You've got the Cloudflare identity checks. However, there are modern AI browsers. The pure browser is a full AI, which will identify as a bot. ChatGPT, Browser Ops, Comet, Neo, Dia, etc. However, they have user agent strings, and I wouldn't trust them. So you don't know really whether you've got a bot arriving at your site or not. And if your robots.txt or Cloudflare blocks you, you're cut out of the agent e-commerce world. Some agents are browser extensions, and others are things like playwright-driven automation. These things use your identity. You have signed in on the browser. You have gone through all the tricks. You have proved that you are a human. And then you tell the agent to take over and carry on doing things. Now, this can cause problems because if you're doing a banking app, your agent is grabbing your screens and being you. It is trusted by the bank. It is sending those screens off to Cupertino or whatever, and all of your financial information and everything that's appearing on these screens are getting sent off. Wow, we're breaking contracts. We're building a new world here. So as I said, site owners can no longer reliably tell what is human and what is AI. They are invisible users and they are here today. So there's 5 types of AI agents. We've got server-side, ChatGPT, Claude. They just get your HTML. They don't see the JavaScript and CSS. They just read the served HTML. They want it semantic. Oh, HTML, not HTML. They want it semantic. We've got the in-browser, the Copilot, the extensions. They see the rendered page. They need work to be done to the DOM. We've got browser automation, Perplexity, Playwright, etc. We've got local on-device agents, Olama. They can run on users' PC. These things have got limited context windows, limited intelligence because they've got to be small enough to fit on a local device. So each type has got a different capability, but all types need semantic structure. If you can understand the constraints, it will help you design solutions that work for all. So the agent journey. AI agents are buying things right now. Your website has machine readers. right now. The first stage is discovery. You have to train the AI. If the AI isn't in your knowledge base, you don't exist. The second step is you have to have citation or recommendation. The agents will recommend sources that they trust. The third stage is that it must search and compare and build comparison lists. It can start the process with the discovery and training material, but then will reach out to the internet and arrive at websites and build better comparison lists. It needs price understanding. You've got to have enough pricing information on your pages, on your database, on your APIs, such that the agent can understand you and build you into its comparison, its shopping, its offer, its promotion, its recommendation. And they need purchase confidence. Can they actually complete a checkout if they decide to work with you? If you miss any of those 5 stages, the online e-commerce chain breaks. If agents can't find you, you don't get a look in. But once purchase starts, agents still need guidance. Okay, the AI referral surge and a £203,000 mistake. This is me, this is real, this is life. As I was writing my book at the beginning of this year, I'm planning to go to Croatia. I may drop in on CMS Experts if you're having the summer camp down there. And I wanted to find a cruise that took me from Germany down the Danube to get me to near enough Croatia. My wife and I like traveling gently. So I asked, it was Claude. It was the Claude for Chrome, the new thing that allows you to run Claude inside Chrome and do agentic things. And I said, find me cruises from Germany down the Danube and give me them. It ranked 5 of them. I've got a screenshot. I can show you all of this stuff if you want. It's a real example. It returned one of the cruises at £203,000 or £402,000 per person for a week's cruise. The actual price was actually 2,000 and 4,000, but never mind. It had 100 times multiplication error. It had European formatting on a website that it had found. It was building a table. It was throwing everything together and normalizing everything against the table using the majority material that it had found from its searches. So if it had booked this would have been a £203,000 mistake. Try and get that money back if you have authorized your agent to act on your behalf and you have proved to the bank that you are you. What caused this? It's an error chain. There was decimal separator confusion. Thousands European 2 dot comma, they switch them round. The Europeans, Americans, and Brits use different formats. The AI didn't have a range validation. The guardrails on the AI agent should have said, when you're building comparison tables, look for things that are greater than a maximum that it thinks is reasonable for the request that's being asked for. It should also have comparative checks. Look at the rest of the table. If anything jumps out, it's an outlier, throw it away. So it didn't have any cross-referencing against structured data that may or may not have been present on the web page. It doesn't have confidence scoring on the results that it found. And the fact that it reformatted the content masked the problem. And the error was presented with the same confidence as verified data. This is the problem with AI. It is confident about everything. Everything is wonderful. Yes, you are correct. Right, current systems fail. Now, as I said before, we are 27 years behind the times. We should have fixed this for accessibility. Modern CMSs create divs without semantic meaning. Content is served as plain HTML. JavaScript decorates it later. Example, there's a thing called Adobe's LLM Optimizer. It detects a bot and will fork the experiences. This is understandable, but suboptimal. What it's doing is, if a bot arrives at your web page, it will rewrite the web page, restructure it, and change the titles, the headings, and the structure to make it more reasonable for a bot to understand. If a human arrives, it will send the original page. The reason why I'm saying this is suboptimal, because you ought to really fix the page. so that it works for both, not serve two different experiences. If you give the bot a different experience from a human, then when the bot does its learning of your page, and then the same company's in-browser extension then runs against your page, it's going to see something completely different, because the LLM optimizer will say, well, that's a human, and give it a different page. So two pages will mismatch. And this is a bit like Google with its canonical and two or three pages that are supposed to be the same. You have to get this right. These are machines that go by rules, fixed rules that you cannot change. So you want to fix the HTML for everyone, not separate bot experiences. Things like toast notifications. When toast notifications come up on the screen, can a bot see it? Well, it depends on the bot. If it's an HTML reading server-side bot, it didn't even execute the JavaScript in the first place. If it's a screen grabbing, screenshot, push off, send the screen to America bot, it depends when it took the screenshot. They don't keep monitoring the screen for changes. If it's doing DOM inspection, well, when toasts disappear, you remove the element from the DOM. So it depends when it looks at the DOM. Agents that don't see what's going on will abandon the flow. And if you've got a flow that's leading to a sale, if you abandon the flow beforehand, you've lost the sale. The solution is to put in persistent alerts that stay visible. Don't put them in toasts. Don't put them in dialogues that disappear. Make them on the screen all the time, visible as possible. That will fix that. The next mistake is hidden checkout state. The state that you are holding in your JavaScript is invisible to agents. If you use JavaScript only state, you say let current step equals 1, let current add 1 to go to step 2, go to step 3. The agent can't see that. If you don't change your URL to say that there's been a URL reflection, and you don't have attributes in your DOM, the agents can't see what you're doing. They can't track progress, and refreshing the screen or whatever will lose the state that was visible in the screen, but it will still be maintained in the JavaScript. So what you must do here is put the data attributes for your current state into the DOM such that some of the AI agents will see it. And if possible, you can put enough state that makes sense to humans and the agents in the screen at the same time. This also helps blind and disabled users. Why this happens? Modern web design has been optimized for visual feedback heavily. We have single page applications, we have client-side state management, we have loading spinners. Spinners come up, humans know what a spinner is, well, roughly. Might change, different color of spinners, different periods of spinners. What is an AI to make of a spinner? What does it mean to an AI? Humans say, well, I'm working, I'll come in a minute. AI goes, oh, nothing's changed, nothing's changed. We have got JavaScript dependent navigation, which is really difficult for AI to work. These patterns break AI agents and screen readers and blind people. Same problems, same solutions. Real world consequences. If you don't have metadata that describes your page in great detail, you'll get things like hallucinations. Lawyers caught citing fictional Ali McBeal cases in real court. Court opinions must mark up their articles with JSON metadata, mentioning that genre is judicial opinion, and your article section is a case law. If you're doing a TV show, here's TV episode plus genre legal drama plus part of serious markup. This way, fan transcripts, which have no type markup, are fixed. The fan transcripts look identical to court cases. How is an AI to know the difference between the two? It can't. AI can't distinguish fiction from fact unless you give it schema.org differentiation in your pages. We need proper schema.org markup, preventing hallucinations for all content types. There's two states to your HTML. You serve the HTML, which is a static page. It's what the server sends before the JavaScript accesses. CLI agents and screen readers see this. You then have the rendered HTML after the JavaScript execution, and only browser-based agents see this. So if you had a page that's had a tag on it with an empty div ID product, and then you run a fetch command to populate that, the product catalog that you were trying to show would be invisible to most agents and some assisted tech. One of the current trends that everybody likes to use and promote is to send Markdown to LLMs for clean parsing. This is brilliant for chatbots. When ChatGPT first came out, that's all they were, chatbots. It didn't do recommendations and purchase and send you to sites. It just talked about things. So if you had pure LLMs, it made it easy for the chatbots to read, easy to ingest, and pure Markdown, make it easy to ingest, easy to understand your thought. And everybody built tools that sucked up your HTML page, turned it into Markdown, sent that to the LLMs, said, that's good. No, that's bad. Markdown strips all the metadata and all of the context that's hidden in your meta tags, etc. You lose the schema.org markup, you lose JSON-LD, you lose your semantic HTML, you lose your ARIA attributes. The agents need the enriched HTML, not stripped down Markdown. Your solution must be to serve enriched HTML with schema.org plus JSON-LD and semantic structure. The solution: don't let your websites rebuild the interfaces in JavaScript. Don't have special agent-only experiences. When you're working, make lots of small, well-understood changes to your HTML. Grow it slowly. Don't just sit down and do a big batch. Improve accessibility for everyone. And there are patterns that add business value. Let's see some of them. The first one is the persistent errors. Remember what I said about the toasts. Toasts are no good for blind people. Toasts are no good for agents. If you had data attributes in your forms, like I say here that I've got a form and I've got a data state, the form is incomplete. So as we go through our journey, we can change the data state in the DOM. This does not change the UI in any way, shape, or form. It's like a variable that you have in your JavaScript, but you're putting it into the DOM such that an AI agent can read it if it's capable of going into your DOM. You should also.
I just want to be conscious of time. That we get a little bit of time for Q&A as well. I don't know exactly how we are on the slides, how many patterns you have left. I know this is a very talkative audience, a talkative group.
Okay. So. Right, thank you. Right, I'll pass the slides on to Yanis and we can push them around later so that everything, all the information's in here. So you adjust the DOM and you use special patterns to make sure that blind people and AI assistants can understand what you're doing. Use schema.org. Make sure you put complete pricing instead of from 99 quid and then say plus delivery, plus commission, plus in your UI. However, you can put in JSON-LD that describes the entire pricing. This does not have to be in the UI, but it tells the machine what's going on. You can still take a user through your step-by-step process if you want. Once again, put explicit state in the DOM. As you change things, update the DOM, not just the JavaScript. This makes a persistent state that AI can follow. And then a small business case, when you're writing your HTML, break it up into semantic HTML. This is minimal effort and it gets you completely agent friendly. Quick wins: add persistent error messages, display complete pricing, or put it in microdata. Ensure whatever HTML you serve contains core content that can be read. Even if you're doing a Vue.js application, make sure there's enough content in the served HTML for an agent to understand what you're going to do. Add basic schema.org and start with the highest impact, the lowest effort. Finally, machine experience, a new discipline. We need dedicated QA engineers. We need dedicated machine experience engineers. When you make everyone responsibility, the accountability vanishes. MX specialists must define agent readability standards, audit implementations, use existing technical roles, move them into that field. Executive commitment is essential. This requires organizational changes. Why this matters. The first weekend of this year, Amazon Alexa Plus was launched. Microsoft Google Copilot Checkout, Google Universal Commerce Protocol, similar to the Agent Commerce Protocol, and Cowork from Anthropic. These things all came out in 1 week. This is when I started writing this book, I thought 12 to 24 months will be the timescale. It's now 6 to 9 months or less. Agent commerce is now infrastructure. It is not experimental. Don't forget, what machines need is what disabled users have needed for 27 years. There's no trade-offs between accessibility and AI readiness. Fix HTML for everyone together, not a separate bot experience. And there's a first mover advantage for sites that implement the patterns now. This is the inflection point. It's just that we're at the same point as when ChatGPT launched in 2022, and we have come on a huge amount in a very, very short time. I predict that within 2 years, machines will read websites, not humans. If we do one solution, everyone benefits, no exceptions. That's the end of my chat. I'm writing a book about this, and I'm looking for reviewers to help me review it. So if anybody would like to get in touch with me afterwards, I'll be happy to.
Perfect. Okay. I will share this slide, links, everything from the chat. Why don't you stop sharing your screen, Tom, and then in the meantime, I will go to Scotland and hand it over to David.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Great talk. Question here coming from Edinburgh. So if machines are going to be reading this content, and we hear that, right? I saw some vastly breathless stats from Gartner suggesting much the same thing. What do you think that means for our industry, which has been very focused on tools for creating websites or creating content that's ultimately going to be put in front of humans, one way or another? What do you think it means for the tools and the technologies that we have, and indeed for the future of the content management space?
It's where we pivot towards creating for machines. We begin by doing both. We end up only working for machines. We must create websites that work for everybody, for both patterns at once. If you're not in the initial data gathering that the machines are doing now, you won't be in it in 2 years' time. So you must start now, very, very slowly. Eventually, I see, and this is sad to say, that the CMS will still exist. It will be a completely different animal where it will generate content for machines to consume. But the machines will still need the context, and the context means metadata, and the metadata means the structures that we have today. Genesis' old article from 27 years ago talked about the RDF format. Nobody really uses RDF anymore. We now use JSON-LD and schema.org. I have no doubt that this too will change. So what we have to do is build systems that will adapt as the machines change, and the machines are going to change so fast. I mean, I was shocked by the first week in January this year. By the time we came to Cowork and what it can do, plus all of these other things, it completely threw me so fast.
All right, very good. I think we have time to hear from one or two more, perhaps. Justin in Toronto, would you like to chime in, perhaps starting with the problem statement?
Yeah, I think I agree with Tom on the problem statement of trying to optimize for ingestion to LLM responses is a rabbit hole if you're just feeding it plain text experiences. You really do need all of the data structures around it, but also you have to be performant. Our go-to is like, let's just go with a modern JavaScript framework, Next.js, Remix. They've solved for server-side generation. You can use island architecture, rehydration to also get the performance. Accessibility is baked in. And then whatever you want to use on the back end in terms of content management takes, that you abstract the two so you can solve for both. But another layer to this too, which will begin to surface, is on top of your content and APIs, people will, before even coming to the website, they'll stay within the experience of their favorite AI search agent, and that's where MCP UI will begin to really play in the mainstream here, where we're taking our brand's experience, tooling, data, and bringing it into the agent as opposed to waiting for the agent to come to the website.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think it answers some of those conundrums.
Yes, very good. We're coming up at the end. How about Matt joining us from Florida? Matt Garapi, comments, perspectives from your side?
Oh boy, I'm at a disadvantage here because Tom and I already talked about this prior to this call. So, and I think he was being quite diplomatic in the way that he's framing the future here, because I do think that to David's point, we do love our tools, and disruption and change are significant challenges that we're facing here. I mean, we've been talking about agent experience now for the last couple of years. I think Tom is tuning into the machine aspects of this. What does a CMS look like in this new world is what I think we're all trying to unpack here. So looking forward to the book. I think that's a great invitation to be a resource in this community, to be able to provide feedback on just the tireless and awesome research that Tom has done. I've already started digging a little bit to an advanced copy of it, and he's just done a lot of great work here. So thank you, Tom, for sharing your slides.
Thank you.
And also, thank you from my side. That's all we had. We are right on time. Thank you, Tom. Really appreciate you open sharing here from the bleeding edge. Really, really helpful. I think there's, this is a shared concern, a shared problem, but also a big opportunity all the way around. And one thing that I found really hopeful seeing in the chat was if there is an opportunity here that we can do better in terms of accessibility, that would be long overdue, but also a very, 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 very good news. So Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Similar to Matt, really appreciate your open sharing, and thank you everybody for joining on this Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon. Stay safe. All the best.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.